word every time. OT,
Do it.
baby.
No, do it. Come on.
OT.
Do it for Mercedes and Pete. Come on.
OT, baby.
Yeah.
Wait, were you a cheerleader? Is that what you're telling
You were a
me?
cheerleader,
Oh, look at
yeah.
those
Only for
moves.
the
How was
show.
she not?
I thought you
Only for
were.
the show. No, I was Miss October in the UC Santa Barbara calendar my freshman year.
Hello.
So cool.
Pull that
I
up.
don't want to.
Somebody get
The
that
thing
on
about
the
that
side.
picture was the bird of paradise in my hair. Yeah, whatever. But no cheerleading.
Outstanding.
I love those flowers.
How frustrating is it to watch a domestic agenda that we so desperately need for the economy not get talked about again for another week, Trish?
Yeah, super frustrating. I mean, I was telling you this during the commercial. We need tax reform. We really do. I mean, businesses need it. Individuals need it. Our economy needs it. Wall Street expects it. We're looking at nearly a new high here on the Dow Jones Industrial Averages. Like, watch it right now, up about 80 points. So there's some feeling out there amongst those in the business community that it will happen somehow, some way. But the reality that we're looking at is they can't get repeal and replace through, which means they can't get tax reform through, which means we're going to get stuck in the doldrums for our economy, Harris, and that's not good.
Yeah, it also means that they could lose some seats to Democrats. I mean, they have bicameral leadership right now. They have everything. I don't even have that in my household. There's always a child that sides with my husband.
We have to remember that how Congress functions, right? They love this whole idea of comprehensive immigration reform, comprehensive tax reform. Yeah. Is the solution breaking it up? Repatriation, do that separately, piecemeal it. Let's lower corporate taxes. That's an easy sell. That's something where you could get, you pass that through the House, pass that through the Senate, and it's not as controversial. Where do we get controversial? On the issue of border adjustment tax, where Republicans cannot agree.
Yeah.
You know,
Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Right now, and just at least get some of these, mini successes, so that Republicans can say, "We've got something done. Let's get it to the president's
Not just Republicans,
desk."
too. I mean, Democrats have argued for repatriation.
That's
the
right.
idea that
That's
somehow we should be letting $2 trillion
That's
of
an
ours
excellent
sit
point.
overseas working for other countries' economies instead of bringing it back here. I mean, that makes absolutely
It's a
no sense. And I
bipartisan
think you can
issue.
get everyone on board with
Megan,
things
is there
like that.
confidence, your father or others, in Mitch McConnell that he can pull the caucus together and get 51 votes?
I think everyone's hopeful, but it's honestly my concern is and remains to be, are these people who I consider libertarians more than Republicans really hijacking, like I didn't see it completely done with repeal and replace, but you represent a small faction of the party. I represent a small faction of the party. We all represent different factions of the party. But ultimately, if we screw this up and you just want to win some kind of ideological personal battle to say I ideologically won, but we ultimately lost.
Ted Cruz said, we got to get this right.
But
I mean, they've shown
Justin
more
Amash,
willingness.
a lot of
Talk about the Senate, though. Talk about
Though
the
is
Senate.
in
But in the
the,
Senate,
in the Senate, yes.
repeal camp as well. So he's
they
not going to
passed it
sit
through the
down with
House.
Democrats and work any sort of a deal. And so is Rand Paul. They've said total repeal. That's where they stand.
Right, but remember, you guys need to be watching two senators. You're going to be watching Susan Collins and Murkowski. Those are your two moderate Republicans who in the Senate who are going to very much determine how Obamacare is shaped, the repeal and replacement of Obamacare, because they're going to be in the moderate camp. You're going to lose Rand Paul, most likely.
Yeah, you've already lost him. He told me.
Right,
He
but
told
you
me.
got to keep those
He wants
two
repeal
moderate
first.
Republicans, which for conservatives, it's just indigestion.
All right, so Facebook Live, I love the bubbles. Isn't that
that's
fun?
great,
People
yeah.
are watching. Dana Schoonover says, we do not need Democratic votes. Let's get it done now. We need to know who is blocking the flow on the Republican side. So Mercedes has just said. So Dana, I guess, follow Mercedes' lead and let Lisa Murkowski of Alaska and Susan Collins know. Pam Butler says, you ladies do a great job. Thank you. I'm sure she includes you too, Pete.
Okay.
West Palm Beach, Florida.
I understand.
Ellen Kilgo is watching from Rome, Georgia. Bubba Baker says Pete is the best.
Thank you, Bubba. I appreciate it. There's one of you out there.
And Matsi Wamapamba says, I'm watching from Uganda.
Well,
Facebook Live.
All right.
Internet works there. too.
Amazing.
Don't
how the
you love it?
internet,
So thank you for watching us from there. I just wanted to give some shout outs because I know we read sometimes off the live
Nice.
chat. We don't always do the Facebook Live. And Chasmo63, Miss Regan, saw you on Fox and Friends this morning. What a lovely family you have. Thanks for all you do.
Ah, that's
You wanna
very
talk about
sweet.
that? Tell us
Thank
what you did. Did you bring it in?
Well, Pete, you were there. My three little ones, my twins, they're both 7 years old. Two little girls, and my
Very cute.
son, 4 years old, and my husband, James. We all came in. We got
How
up
old is
really
James?
early
No, I'm kidding.
to Fox and Friends this morning, and we made blueberry pie. New England, New Hampshire style
eat
Really good.
blueberry
I didn't even
pie.
talk in the segment. I just ate blueberry pie.
I love that about
But, you know,
you.
I'll tell you, and we all go on TV pretty regularly, and it's somewhat normal for us. But as a mother, when you've got your little ones there, and you have a large
lot
family,
of little
you know
ones,
how
yes.
this is. I mean, you just hope that the wheels stay on the bus, and that there's no major catastrophe. So I consider it a win that we managed to make this pie. Although Pete helped us along. He's like, don't forget, you got to put the crust on top.
Don't forget, this is actually a cooking segment. Maybe we should put the pie in there. No, not only did the wheels not come off, but those are some of the most well-behaved.
Well, you all are making me very hungry.
They were very excited.
All right.
They were awesome.
So now that I am famished and I have to move the microphone so you can't hear my stomach growling, a couple things from the live chat. What's the point of Comey's testimony when he will only state he can't answer the question in this format from D-Day? So there will be a closed and an open door session. We don't know what will necessarily be said in the closed door. But it does beg the question, why even have an open one? Why don't you just do a closed one?
It's
or
about
is it the drama?
public
Washington
display.
wants open.
It's what we
Politics
love.
of
It's
it.
bring out
Yes.
the popcorn here.
So Democrats can be on the record
I'm
having
telling you.
peppered the guy with
he's had
questions
several
and-
missteps. The last one, which you talked about, the UMA sending over thousands of classified
Democrats weren't
information
happy
to
about
Anthony
that.
Weiner. So let's look and see what missteps he's going to have this time. But I find it just shocking because when you have a special counsel in place, that's really where Comey should go.
He has,
All right, we have to talk about
but he
Hillary
has what I
Clinton.
call the Brian Williams problem. That you want to be on TV, you want to slow jam the news with Jimmy Fallon rather than actually do your job as the head of the FBI. He should have gone into television. He should have done this instead. He has no business
is
being
in
the head.
television.
No, but he should have really been not been in charge of our national security as well. He should have just gone into television. I think he's the ultimate show pony.
He's like the one unlucky guy.
The
Yeah.
Instagram account? I didn't know that James Comey had an
1212,
Instagram.
and I hope I'm saying her
he
name
posted
right.
anything, but he followed.
Jannar Ray 1212 says that was hilarious when Megyn said, "Is Hillary on The Voice with that red chair?"
Well, it's like that big leather chair that Christina Aguilera sits in. When I was watching it, I was like, where is she?
Can we talk a little bit more about
happening?
Hillary
Spaceship.
Clinton?
Yeah.
Must wait.
Where do you even
Please.
start? I
God.
mean, do you think she really doesn't believe why she lost?
I think she's in serious denial.
Yeah.
Or
Serious
do you
denial.
think this is
very
somehow
bitter.
her kind of staying in the public eye? I don't know.
It's a grieving process in public. We were talking about
think
this
that's it?
earlier. I think it's you go through what is it? You're in shock, and then you go through denial, and she's kind of stuck in that denial phase. And I just think it's actually very depressing.
But why does it have to
watch
be
her
us stuck in
unravel.
that denial? Why can't she
I
do
think
that in
she's-
the woods? And
She should.
She tried, and that didn't work.
Because she's seeing the resistance movement and how much people hate Trump, and I think it probably makes her hate him more herself and feel like, how could I have lost to this guy that I was supposed to crush?
By the way, second time around.
Candidacy.
Yeah.
Second time around, and she just sits with those thoughts and they get worse.
But running for president is a privilege, it really is, and getting as far as being the nominee is the ultimate privilege. And to sort of wallow in negativity, I mean, again, I've been front and center not only with my father, but
have
with
a
people who
unique
have lost, like not becoming the nominee as well. I've been front and center on so many election nights where it didn't work out. I've never seen anything like this. Most people are stoic, talking about their blessings. Let's go, let's fight for the good of the party. There's a lot more greater than your self-interest at hand. And that is why when people think I'm being harsh when I say she's being completely selfish, this is a selfish act. She's also blowing up her party, or attempting to, in the meantime, and blaming the DNC and blaming everyone else. And I find it pathetic on many levels.
Victimization too,
Yes.
right? I mean, woe is me. It's everybody else's fault because it couldn't possibly be mine. And this is something that we hear, frankly, a lot of from members of the left. I mean, this whole victimization card they have played over and over again, but she's really taken it to a new level. And I think fundamentally believes she is a victim and that she should have gotten this, and it's everyone's fault but her own.
And she's got to go home and hear, but Hill, when I won. You got to hear that every day.
She should have taken some of that advice.
This is what I did.
America loves me.
You think they roll like that as a couple? Like
Probably
he's just
not.
sitting there over
I have
dinner
no idea.
going, you know, those days when I was winning on the stump.
Shoulda
He
had
tried to
all
warn
that.
her, though. I mean, he tried to warn her staff. If you read
Interesting.
Shattered, he said you can't just send Lena Dunham down. We need to start campaigning in these places. He talked about how Obamacare was a complete and utter disaster. They should have listened to him. He does understand the middle of the country more than she and her collective staff did.
You know, I think it's just a hard pill to swallow, though, if you are an independent woman and you've got the woman card, which looks so much like a Subway Metro card, by the way, and you were going to the website and Hillary's, putting this out, but that you need your husband to help you win. Maybe that was just a bridge too far for her.
I'm okay with having your
It's just a
husband there to
question.
win. The problem becomes is that the media, the polls, they were all in favor of Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
it all fell apart for her.
Glad you were here. Glad you were here.
you.
Great socks.
Thank you. Brexit Day. Get out of the
Manchester,
Paris
we are
Climate
with
Accord.
you, right?
Get out.
We'll see you tomorrow.